Alright, so I changed my mind. I realized that getting it done today while I'm at the park and have the time to spare is the right choice, because if things work out well, I'm going to be continuing on to Ottawa on March 9th after the Petawawa event and seeing what sports card inserts of mine I can get graded at the monthly Ottawa Sports Card Show at Nepean Sportsplex. And that is approximately 2 weeks to go before the March 23rd and 24th spring edition of the Geeked Out Toys and Collectibles Show. So you can see all the playground equipment we approach, kayaks or whatever those are, standing ready for spring, and I'll be back when I have more. The last time I was in this park and went all the way, like a lot of the way on the pads and got video, was October of last year, October of 23, when I got the fall colors, and eventually those videos will get released as I clean up, I clean up the last of the 22 vlogs and the 2023, and then you get into sort of a chronological sequence, because I have 10 or 15 vlogs from 2023 that I didn't release at the time because they weren't getting that much traction. So I thought, okay, we'll give them some of the previous trips, because at the time it was called Sean's Travels. Of course, now that I've switched the channel to say Sean's Vlogs and Travels and gained about 4 subscribers, bringing me up to 25 from 21, so thank you very much. It seems like making vlogs more of the focus right now is actually working, so I'll take that. Kind of amazing. I've come to this park a few times before, but until the summer of 22 I never thought to get footage of it. So that's good, and we'll see if on March 9th I can get footage from the preview event. I certainly will at the beginning of June 1st and 2nd, the Deep River Arena for Deep River Geek Fest. So that'll have footage both from Sean's model builds and for Sean's toys and collectibles, and also Sean's travels, just for the sake of it being a convention of sorts that I'm actually participating in for the first time as a vendor. And we just learned on the webpage that the actor from North of 60, I think it's Robert Bonstall, maybe I pronounced his last name wrong. I got a photo with him last year. Well, I mean, he autographed a photo too. Alright, here we go. So we're approaching the trees and the shack again. I mean, when I came here on my rollerblades, I had to rollerblade right up to the shack, but practically walk on the grass to get there, and then rollerblade the rest of the way. But this is the first time I've actually getting footage going east while walking. Alright, so there's those famous pine trees again. Well, I call them famous just because it's one of the first sights I saw when I came to this park, and it immediately reminded me of the undergrowth in Latvia and the trees where I saw my friend Noah in the early 90s. So I might as well get on this side of the trail this time, and I'll come back when I have more. Alright, here we are. I love how the tree underneath the trees is so clean that you don't get a single bit of undergrowth. It's just a soft blanket of orange pine needles. It's quite beautiful, really. That's why I've always loved city parks ever since I was in college 25 years ago. And speaking of that, when I go to Borden, hopefully this summer, and I'm a lot closer to St. Catharines and Orillia, all the places I went to in the early 2000s, before the 2010s, I will be getting video footage of all of that and relaying, what I did while I was there, where I was working, where I was living. Basically all the video footage I didn't get at the time but it'll be in approximately 2020's video quality. So actually that might make it a bit better. It's so beautiful, these trees. Look at that. And there's where we came from. So I will be back when I probably get to the bridge. That's the next interesting part again for the return journey. Looking at the shoreline, you can see the Algonquin College there. So it's amazing how the shoreline actually takes a curve to get north to the lighthouse and the end of the park. But that's where we'll be in a couple dozen minutes, maybe half an hour at most. Of course, because I'm clipping and editing the phone on the go and the digital camera as well, it will seem only like a matter of 30 seconds or a minute for you guys. Depends how much footage I get on the return journey. Right, here we go. We go from a city park to the beautiful manicured lawn of the retirement home. And now we'll then you get into the wild over there, which is a trail we took before. But this time, of course, we'll stick to the pavement and take it all the way around. Actually, why don't we cut through here, going the other way, from west to east, which is the reverse of what we did in the summer of 22, and see how it turns out. That might be a nice shortcut, actually. And you can see the wild mullein. I see some that's even taller than I am. I had a 9-foot tall one growing at my home in Cold Lake, and I realized while I didn't take much video footage of home in that area, I can at least have a plog, which is picture log, and narrate under the picture. So I can turn a whole bunch of pictures into a story with narration. Kind of like Right On Replicas does with his model videos. He just takes pictures of each stage of the car and narrates under them. That's where I got the idea to do it back in 2018, when I first started model building. And here is an unobstructed view of the wilderness landscape, almost like the one behind the cinema in Ottawa, which I have a video of from somewhere. And I'm going to have to, well, you know, when I get up to Montagneur, find that footage. It's also a bit like the small coniferous trees in Latvia south of the lake, just west of the base, which I got pictures of in 2021. I didn't know this, that the shortcut I'm taking on the trail brings me right out to the bridge. Let me zoom in on it from here. There you go. And wait for the picture taking icon to pop up. There you are. Well, that is a pleasant surprise, ending up at the bridge again, right after taking the shortcut through the grass from the retirement home. And after the bridge, the next stop will be Algonquin College. Now I'll get a picture of the bridge from here. There you go, centered. And there's someone approaching, so I'll pause for now. Okay. We're past the bridge. We're at about 8.5 minutes. Now there's a little trail that goes off this way. Let's explore this briefly just to see what we're looking at. Because I can see it going up to a field. And this is a way I couldn't go when I went south in the summer of 22 because I was rollerblading at the time. The trail goes all the way in here, as you can see. Very interesting. See, this is an auxiliary part of the trail I never encountered before going south, so this brings a bit of interest to the proceedings. This is a lot like Aurelia in 05, the park that was very close to the Narrows, with the trees that are very low to the ground and the branches spreading out far and wide and everything. And someone's following me. I would say they're stalking me, but I'm not a item on a grocery store shelf. Ha 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 ha. Alright, here we are. Coming out near the hydro lines now. I suppose at some point I'm going to have to double back or shortcut across the field because we're coming up to the back of the street here. Again, this is a view I've never seen before because I wasn't aware of this part of the trail. There's a nice big pine tree just sitting out here. Now, look at this. Trail goes that way through a secondary section. Trail goes up here, probably to the houses by some kind of stairway or something. And the trail goes off this way. Now this is reminding me of that park in Belleville that I encountered in the summer of 2018 when I go out for walks on the weekends during my postal course. Well, technically that park was in Trenton, not Belleville. And I think I'm reaching, it's almost like I'm reaching a fence of some sort. So hopefully I can shortcut back across the field, or I'm just going to have to backtrack and go back where I came from. But beautiful, beautiful trees. Not as beautiful as they'll be in the spring and summer, of course, but we take what we can get. The sumac are still red, though. And I think we're in luck up here. It looks like the trail veers to the left around that barrier and probably takes us across the field where we want to be. Or takes us directly into the college campus. But look at this. A little footbridge on a previously rail trail. Huh. And the gate is open and doesn't look like it's been closed for quite a while. So here we go. And we'll just take the trail up and then we'll probably end up on the college campus itself, won't we? Oh, yes, we will. So what do I do now? Well, let's see if I can get back to the trail somehow. Maybe, maybe not. There's the college anyway. Well, that was unexpected. Oh, I know. Maybe go up here if I can get through. All right, let's see. What's the best way to get through here? Ah, here we go. It's an adventure. Reminds me a bit of the aerator's landscape. Ah, here we go. See, the snow piles prevented you from easily accessing the trail that was here that would get you to the picnic table area. Did it? Yes, it did. Let's see, here you go. Alright, that's good. So you came around full circle and you'll get up to the picnic trail area and get pictures of the tables on the hill. There's the tree pruners down there again. And now you get pictures of the chairs on the hill too. See? There we go. And there's a gravel trail right over here, which is probably the way down. At least I hope it is, back to the trail itself. Oh, well, here we go. So there's the chairs. Here's where we came from. And here's a nice gravel trail that takes us up. And you can probably turn, assuming it doesn't dead end. Oh, wait a minute, it does. What? Can't dead end. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Back to the main trail again. Okay. So I'll get back on the main trail and we'll continue on. So that was a nice diversion from our route. Something unexpected that I had never seen before. As you see, we're back on the trail and the bridge, so we head to the east, to the right, and back to the Pembroke waterfront. Now, if I run out of room or battery on my phone by the time I get to Petawawa Terrace Park, I will just go for a walk without the phone, kind of planning out the route I will take when I go there to film. That seems like a good compromise. and a way to spread the time between now and my appointment, which we're really only 90 minutes away from now. Good news is, after all that, my hands are not cold anymore. So now that my hands aren't cold anymore, I am glad I didn't give up on this idea while I was here and had the time to get all the footage in both directions of this park in late winter, early spring. And I love that opening up there. Let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. And picture. Here we go. That's a beautiful mural. Zoom in and crop that out later. But as you see, we're approaching the park, and you see the orange vest person way over there. That's another one of the, I guess the formal term is arborists, because arbor is Latin for tree or something. Arboretum, an indoor place on the Enterprise D filled with park-like structures including trees and bushes. Alright, I'm back. You can see a picture of the two structures here, and that's the one with the wooden boat in it. I remember that from the summer of 22. I find it amazing. I haven't been here in nearly 2 years. 20 months ago, in fact, along this whole trail, and yet I remember all this like it was yesterday. Of course, it's helped along by the fact that I took pictures and video, and I edited it and posted it recently. So all that helps. And there's what you would call an amphitheater, because as you can see, there's the seating. There you go. Just like they had at Aurelia, except the raised amphitheater didn't have seating around it, but the sunken one did. And if all goes well, in a few months, you will see that footage. Oh, look, there's a boat on a pillar. I mean, if all goes well, you will see that footage from Couturier Beach Park in a few months. In the summer, it'll be very warm, of course. But so now I'm going to take this diversion, because there's the archway in the center. But take the diversion this way, which is where I rollerbladed in the summer of 22, and people were hanging out in the gazebo and they said, "I don't like your hat." And I made some comment like, "Well, I've traveled half the states. How many have you been to?" And in there, over there, is where I was with the RC car in July of 22, just before I went down to the Blue Ridge Mountains for my road trip to Columbus for PowerCon. I was only away for 8 days, and I must admit that made it a much better summer vacation, only being away for the middle week, than it did in 2023 last summer when I was away for 2 weeks total. That was too long. There's the ice cream buying place. And if you go a bit further, you will see the roadway beyond the shack. Fascinating. I just ended up taking video footage and picture of a sign that said, "Be aware that you're being videotaped and footage by the park people." Well, if they can do it, so can I. Yeah, this is, I was all the way over there by those willow trees. And you see how they've stacked up the picnic tables in preparation for summer. And you look over here, and I'm back at my car again. Oh, look, a tiny little Christmas tree. Blue spruce. And the new trees they've planted, and the deciduous trees that don't have any leaves yet. So that's a nice ending for Riverside Park, March of 24 in both directions. So part 1 and 2 for March of 24. And now we'll see what room and battery life I have left for Petawawa Terrace Park today.